Hey folks, it's Ben. We're here with our 1993 Chevy Lumina APV minivan. Spaceship actually is what we're going to call it. And what we're doing today, one of the many things we're doing today, but one of the video this is about is doing an automatic transmission service. So we have the 3800 Series 1V6. And so what we're going to be doing is changing the fluid and filter on the 4T60E transmission that's in it. This will be applicable to all the 3800s and the 3400 in the 1996 model year. So let's go ahead, bring it in, put it up on the ramps, and we'll get going. We're changing the transmission fluid and filter today, not for any particular reason. In other words, the transmission's shifting fine, the fluid seems to be good looking, but what happened is I bought the van. So I've had it for a little bit now, and I don't know the last time the fluid was changed. And I know with GM transmissions, they really like their fresh fluid. They're kind of particular on that. You can keep a transmission going a long time if you keep the fluids fresh. So about when I bought it, it would be about 400 miles ago, I put in some Seafoam Trans Tune. This is a handy little cleaner. It's one of the two types of fluids you can put in a transmission. You got this stuff, which is more of a cleaner, thinner, like lacquer almost. Lacquer thinner type thing, and then there's Lucas, which is a thick molasses type material. Depends on what's going on with your transmission, but in this case I'm just looking to clean it, put some solids that are, put them in the fluids and get those fluids out. So I put a bottle of this in a couple hundred miles ago. We're going to be using a Napa filter. We won't need the gasket in theory. The one that's on there should be reusable, but we don't know what the prior owner did. Maybe they used a cork one and we're stuck using it. So we have our filter to go in that. It's for a 4T60E. I stocked these. I got enough transmissions around. And then we have this little guy here, which if you've seen any of my videos, and I have lots of transmission videos, you may or may not need to use this. We'll inspect ours, and if it's good, we'll just leave it in there. But if it's wrecked, well, we got a new one. The fluid we'll be using today will be Valvoline Max Life. This is a multi-vehicle automatic transmission fluid. I've had a lot of luck with it. It's fully synthetic. It's probably the only fluid I would say totally need to be 100% synthetic are transmissions, because they get hot, and being synthetic is a very handy thing to have. This covers all the transmissions, and Max Life being for, I'm not going to say older ones, but it's a pretty good one. I like it. So that's what I run in my vehicles, and it's not that gross, and it comes in a 5-liter jug as well. So I have about 8 liters of fluid to change with. We've got the filter. So really all we need to do is drop the pan with all the fluid that comes out with it, swap the filter out, put the pan back up after we clean it, and we're good to go. It's pretty much like that, filling and checking levels and stuff like that. So let's get to it. I think next for us is let's go under it and look at the pan. Alrighty, so we're under the van, and here is our transmission pan. So you'll recognize this is the oil pan for the engine, and then behind it we actually have, and it's actually I believe in Boston there, a 4T60-E. Division of GMC. This is our automatic transmission fluid pan. So what we actually need to do is drop it. Now I'm getting to the age of where I think I'm going to start sucking these out from the top, because the fluid level is actually above where this lid is. So this is going to leak like a sieve as soon as we drop it down. That's not cool. So the best plan of attack is actually go and I break them all free to make sure we're not going to have any fights on our hands. Then I leave 4 of them in, 1 on each corner, and then I take the rest out because we're not worried about torque at this point. And then we will slowly back those 4 down, and it will drip into our pan. If you remember the coolant change video, very similar pan because it's the same thing. And we'll drain all that fluid out, and then we'll drop this pan down. Now, not knowing the last time it was changed, this could be factory fluid. I strongly doubt it, but it could be. We'll inspect the pan and see what's in it. But the real results will be next year when we drop the pan and see what's in the transmission, how its condition is. I think it'll be fine. It's been shifting fine. Everything seems to be fine in it. But we'll know absolutely for sure next year when we actually do that. So I'm going to time lapse you. We're going to drop this, and next time I talk to you, we should be on the bench with this right on it. Let's say our peeper's on this. Thankfully, no surprises, which is exactly what you want when you drop a transmission pan. You just want it to be cool. No big chunks, no metal shavings. We've got a little bit of material here, which is to be expected. It's not like these things go, that they don't wear themselves out eventually. Our magnet is not got any large particulates in it. It just has the typical sandy-like material, which is clutches and metal, and intermeshing gears will eventually wear on themselves anyway. That's just how they roll. So nothing crazy there, nothing crazy here. You watch my last Grand Prix transmission pan video, you'll notice what a lookout transmission pan looks like, but everything here is cool. The other thing you notice is now that I get a great look at the fluid, it is a little bit more brown than I like. So glad we're changing it because we're putting in some new stuff. Why I'm going to be changing it in a year is because the torque converter is still full of fluid. It's still got old fluid in it. But this will get a lot of it out, and then next year when we change it, we'll get a lot more of the older stuff out, put it new. It's a long circle that, you know, it's great. And after that, it'll be every 2 years. Whoever did the pan last time, so this means it hasn't been done. Usually these come with a reusable GM gasket. This is a cork one, so this is part of our kit. So we'll just throw this one away and we'll put the new one on. No fault with this, it's fine. But if I do happen to come across the reusable one, I will. They're just nice, that's all. But I don't have to clean this one, I can just throw it away. So we'll drain the rest of this oil out. We'll clean up the pan, and then we'll go underneath and we gotta work on that filter. Alrighty, so we got the pan clean. I noticed I dropped a little bit of clear plastic in there, so another reinspection says everything's okay. So we're clean there. Got our outside nice and clean, so it looks nice under the car. Our surface for our cork gasket's all nice and clean. We're ready to go there. Cleaned off the bolts. Some of the heads were a little, covered in dirt. I'm way over prepping this stuff because I'm from the Rust Belt, and so usually rust, I'm fighting that, and dirt and grime and salt, and I don't get that up here. So this is actually fantastic. And why have I been doing this first and not addressing the filter? I've been buying time. While we've been doing that, the car's been sitting there dripping and getting more fluid out of itself slowly. So let's go into the car and pull that filter out.
The hope is that we don't have to deal with tools back here underneath the side here. This should be just a friction fit of the hole here where the filter goes in, and that's it. And some of the bits and pieces. So if you rock it back and forth and pull down gently, it will rock itself out. And you want to put most of your pull down force, this is where the neck is. So you want to kind of get that out of that seal we saw. If we can get it out without hurting it, oh, that'd be great. And we can just reuse it. Otherwise, we got to pull that out. That's a little bit of a pain to do. So let's try not to do that. Let's see if we can give it a little help right here. There we go. So the filter I don't really care about. It can't actually tell me a whole lot, except it's full of fluid. But what I want to do now is take this a little bit and clean my finger off as much as I can and put my finger up in this hole and feel there's actually a bushing up here. And if you feel a gouge or a rip or anything like that, then you cannot reuse it. You'll have to get a new one. But if it feels smooth all the way around, you're good to go. Otherwise, you've got to get like a pick tool and get in behind it and yank it out. And it's pressed in there. Like, it's a real pain to get in and out. But you can yank it out, usually wrecking it. And then you can put that other one in and tap it in with either a socket or something like that. Get it back in the spot, and then you put your filter in. But you don't have to, I used to do that all the time. Then I read, you don't have to change it if it's not broken. So I'm like, well, heck, I'm not doing that again. So this one is good shape. So we can just put our new filter in. But what I'm actually going to do first is wipe down my casing and get this surface ready for my cork gasket, because they're going to be mating and it's a little dirty. So we'll wipe that down, filter in, and we're almost done. Here's the only time I'm gonna tell you. Check the magnet. Don't forget to put that back in. Ours is in. This is where we'll see how the cork does compared to the factory gasket, which tends to retain its shape quite nicely as you put it in. This one looks like I might have to get a little punch and do some work to get it to stay everywhere. With the 4 bolts now holding the pan up, and most of my gasket holes are pretty much lined up, I'm going to hand start every bolt because the transmission is actually aluminum. So the threads on this, you got to be careful. So hand start them all, then we'll just snug them up to the pan, and then we will just kind of crisscross around, putting a very light torque on it. It's a single-use gasket, so I'm not worried about squishing it too badly, but they weren't on very tight to begin with, and it wasn't leaking, so let's not ruin that by going the other way. So let's just go ahead and lightly torque them. We're probably talking like, officially, I don't know, you'd have to look it up, but maybe not very tight at all, but let's go ahead and do that.
The question I get asked most often is, well, how much fluid do I put in the transmission now that we've completely drained it? And what we learned with the Chevy Equinox that we did the transmission service is measure it. So here we have a 5 quart oil jug. So we're going to take our pan here and pour the contents into the jug, and that'll tell us exactly how many quarts that we need to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back. So the jug's just about full, so that's 5 quarts, and then I have a little left here. So we're definitely in 5, probably 6 quart land. So we'll dump the whole 5 liter jug or 5 quart jug into the transmission, and then we'll do some level tests to see if it gets right, because we did have it slightly overfilled when we put the trans tune in it. So let's go ahead and get our other funnel, and we'll get set up to put some fluid in it. So you fill the transmission through the fill stick here, so we'll pull this out and we'll wipe it off, and that's what you get here. Now we do have this is a Spaceship, but some people call them vans. So in order to change the fluid, I actually need a kind of a specialty long funnel. So this one happens to have that 1.5 foot extension on it, and it's fairly clean. I think the last thing I had for this was maybe power steering fluid, so we're fine. It's all good. We'll put that right in the hole there, and that lets us have our funnel up here. Crack open our 5 quart jug of Valvoline Max Life ATF full synthetic, so that's exactly what we want. And there are 5 liters in here, which is actually a little bit over 5 quarts. I can't remember which way that.
Very similar.
Very similar. So pop the top, hold up the funnel, and all it goes in. Okay, so we got the fluid in, so we're gonna stick the stick in, and it's not gonna mean much, but we'll see if there's actually fluid in it. Of course there is. And yeah, there is way up top, so it's actually way, way up, but we gotta fill the filter and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and fire it up, roll it off the ramps, get it nice and level, run it through the gears a little bit, and then we'll take a measurement and see if we're close enough. So now that we've run it through the gears and we got it on fairly level ground, let's go ahead and pull it. And it looks like that we are about, I'd have to say about a quart low. So we'll put another quart in it, and we'll take another measurement. So after about a half a quart, we come back here, and we're just below the full line, but we also have to remember that we're not checking it hot yet. So that's close enough for government work at this point in time. And then when we take it to work and come back home, we'll do a measurement again, and then we'll definitely be closer as to the spot we want to be on. So we'll go with that for now. If you guys have any questions on how to do the transmission fluid on your, this is a 93, but it'll work on any GM 4-speed, and I've got lots of videos about lots of GM 4-speeds. Ask it, comments, leave them, and subscribe to my channel, Turbo231, for more exciting and awesome videos. And this is where I wait for 20 seconds so I can float my cards out there. Card guy puts some cards up. And I'll see you guys next time. They got enough of me, my erratic idle on this darn thing. I really ought to get to that. Screw it, we'll do the gas cap next.